Welcome back. Let's dive right into the deep end. This month, President Joe Biden and the Department of Justice announced the reclassification of cannabis to a Schedule III drug.
So before, marijuana was classified as a Schedule I, which put it on par legally with heroin, LSD, ecstasy, and more. Classifying marijuana as Schedule III means the DEA considers the drug at moderate to low potential for physical and psychological abuse and puts it on the same level as testosterone and Tylenol, but it does not legalize it for recreational use on a federal level. So joining us to continue the conversation this morning is Washington Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland. Congresswoman, nice to have you with us again.
Nice to see you again.
So can you first expand on what this reclassification means for marijuana really across the country?
Yeah, I do. And I want to start with Washington State. So in 2012, the voters in Washington State voted to allow recreational cannabis use. And with that came growers, it came retailers, and basically setting up a business structure. Unfortunately, because it was on the wrong schedule federally and not legalized federally, the banking system is really what was at risk. So for in a lot of places, it's a cash-only business, and that puts retailers at risk, it puts workers at risk. But getting it off of Schedule I to Schedule III is a first step in the right direction. This will allow retailers and businesses in states where it is legal to take advantage of some tax breaks, and also just to really recognize that at some point, we need to pass the Safe Banking Act, which is a separate bill. And the Safe Banking Act will allow it to, allow banks and credit unions and whoever wants to provide financial services for these businesses to do so legally. Because right now the danger is that this is a cash-only business. But the rescheduling by the Department of Justice is a big step in the right direction. But we ultimately need to pass the Safe Banking Act, which, by the way, has bipartisan support.
Historically, the original classification disproportionately impacted communities of people of color. Can you talk more about why that is, and then what this reclassification means for those groups?
Absolutely. I mean, President Biden has talked about pardoning people who have been, part of the justice system because of possession of marijuana or being incarcerated for it. So I think it'll get rid of that as well. But also, sadly, in the justice system, we know that communities of color are disproportionately affected by cannabis laws and when it comes to the justice system. So it's a way to add some racial equity to the justice system when it comes to cannabis. But again, really looking at something that the voters in Washington State said yes to in 2012. And if we're going to have legitimate businesses, then we need to treat them all legitimately and also look at the disproportionate impacts on communities of color.
We should mention that you're a co-sponsor of the Safe Banking Act, which you talked about just a moment ago. Do you think that this reclassification paves the way for that act to pass? Is there enough support for it?
I believe there is, and here's why I say this. I think about in Washington State where it was okay to have medical cannabis, then we moved to legalizing recreational. Now there are over 23 states in the country that either have legalized recreational or medicinal use. And so you see the direction this is taking. So I think that declassifying it, is a good step in the right direction. It will allow research and development to take place with uses of cannabis, because there are obviously a lot of ways to think about this, as far as helping people address some of the some issues that they have regarding pharmacies. And so not pharmacies, but looking at this in a medicinal way as well. And so it paves the way for more R&D. It declassifies it so that it isn't in the same category as heroin and fentanyl and some of these very, very harmful drugs. And hopefully it's a step in the direction that will get us to the Safe Banking Act.
And here in Washington, as you know, we've seen a surge of robberies, violence related to cannabis shops. Yep. Do you think the Safe Banking Act is a step in the right direction when it comes to curbing that violence?
Absolutely, because people know that these are cash businesses. So when you go into a business and you can steal cash, it's a different proposition when people are able to pay with credit cards and use electronic banking. And so again, this is obviously an issue with retail safety, with the safety of the workers and the safety of the investments that business owners have made.
Congressman, I kind of want to switch gears a little bit. You're also a member of the House Armed Services Committee. I know that the name of this is kind of long, but talk with us about the advancements of the Service Member Quality of Life Improvement and National Defense Authorization Act. How is that going to benefit service members in our state?
So from the first day I started in Congress, I decided to focus on military housing. And it's obviously because Joint Base Lewis McChord is right in the middle of my district. There are 60,000 service members and families who actually serve there. And here's a data point that people may not know. 70% of the people who serve do not live on post. We know that we have a housing crisis here in the Pacific Northwest. Rents are really high, buying is expensive. And so by looking at the quality of life, we're focusing on housing, we're focusing on access to childcare, we're focusing on employment for spouses, and a whole host of things that really affect the quality of life for those who are serving. And so by looking at the quality of life, we're really basing this year's defense bill on quality of life issues. We want to make sure that we are restoring funding for the basic allowance for housing to 100% and looking at a host of issues that really affect the quality of life for those who are serving and their families, and also understanding that this is a recruiting and retention issue as well.
And you're home now for a little break. What are your plans while being back at home?
I would say I'm going to spend some time with my family because I've been out of town for a while. I'm attending a Memorial Day event and then just doing some things out in the community because I've been away for a while. So we have a lot of things planned, a lot of meetings with different folks doing amazing work, visiting some of the places where we've gotten funding for different projects. So just spending some time, what I call doing good work at home with our constituents and just letting them know that we are here to serve them.
Yeah.
Congressman, I want to ask you really quickly, just because we're on the topic, a lot of the attention this weekend tends to focus on travel and getting ready for the upcoming start of summer, that sort of thing. Do you have a message for our viewers when we're thinking about Memorial Day weekend heading into it?
Well, I would say this. I mean, this particular holiday is very poignant because we are honoring those who have served, but also too, I think that what we want to do as we travel is that things are tense when you travel, airports are crowded, things get canceled because of weather, and so just show some patience and grace while you're traveling and do your part to try to make things easier. The people who work at our airports and our airlines are having to deal with massive crowds because people are traveling. Coming into SeaTac was even challenging last night. But I just tell people, show some grace. It's Memorial Day. We're honoring those who served and died in combat, but also just, let's just show some grace and really, be kind to each other. That's my message about traveling.
Yeah, well said. Kindness all around.
Absolutely.
All right, Congresswoman, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us and thanks for your time, especially since you're back home and you're busy right now. We know.
Nice to see you.
Okay, see ya.
Nice to see you as well. Yeah.